Everton 0, Man United 1. Difficult game. Not just because say Man United win, you think it was easy. It wasn't an easy game. It was difficult game, you know. To go to Everton, to go play at Everton against David Moyes' team is difficult. You know. Everton bullied Man United today. They bullied us. They were physical, you know, just like West Ham last week. I mean, yeah, just like West Ham last game against Man United. West Ham was physical. Everton is just like that. Physical team. They made it difficult for us, man. It was hard to break Everton down, you know. But we was able to get the win though. It's not an easy win. First half, we was average, man. We couldn't break Everton down. We couldn't keep the ball up. The ball doesn't stick. When we move the ball up, it doesn't stick. When the ball gets to Cunha, it doesn't stick. When it gets to Mbuemo, it doesn't stick. Nobody could hold the ball up for like 10 seconds. Once the ball gets to Mbuemo, he will lose the ball. To Cunha, he will lose the ball. So it was hard today, bro. You know, we tried to break them down. It was no way. Bruno was giving the ball away in the first half. You know, it was crazy, man. Like, I didn't have no belief. Like in the first half, I didn't have no belief. I didn't know what was gonna happen. You know, difficult game though against Everton, man. I knew it was gonna be difficult. Because Everton is just like they don't play. Everton don't play good football, so it's hard to break them down. It's physical. I ain't gonna front. They bullied us today, man. But we try. Our players tried. Mostly our defenders. You know, they stood up. They fought back. They tried. And our goalkeeper, most especially, Senna Lemons. What a wonderful goalkeeper, man. Great saves today, most especially the one from Michael Caine. The ball was rising, but still, he still had to make the save. Great save. And also, Everton had almost like 10 corner kicks. The guy sending Lemons save a lot of corners. He kept punching the ball, you know, punched the ball to the side. He made some great save today, man. The guy actually kept us in the game, you know. At least being 0-0 going into the second half, we know if our manager, Michael Carrick, if he makes some good substitution, we can win the game. And that's what actually happened. You know, Going into the second half, we was compact. We tried. Our defenders did not conceive any goal. Our goalkeeper saved us. He kept us in the game, didn't conceive any goal. So going into the second half, it's anybody's game. And guess what? Man United, we have the best attackers, and we have better players on the bench. You know, the second half, the manager made the substitution. Sesko came in, and scored the goal. You know, Beautiful goal. Pass from Cunha to Mbuemo to Sesko. Wonderful goal, man. Beautiful goal from Sesko. You know, at least I'm not gaslighting my team like, oh, we didn't play good football today, but we won. You know, I came from, we won. Every time it don't have to be pretty, it don't have to be beautiful, but just the win is all that matters. We really did we played defense better. We played good defense, and we was able to win the game. You know, what's the name? Goalkeeper. He was actually the man of the match. Dalot had a okay game. You know, Dalot was okay. He didn't do anything bad like that. You know, Lenny Euro was good too. I didn't see anything that I would say he did wrong. Maguire did his thing too. Maguire didn't put any. He didn't put his foot wrong. He actually win a lot of headers. Maguire good in the head, so he won a lot of headers for us. Luke Shaw was good. I can't remember anything bad he did. So our midfield was okay. Casemiro wasn't his best today, but it was okay. It was okay. Menu was good, but Bruno Fernandez wasn't that good today. Well, at least everybody we fought. Our players fought. Amad Diallo wasn't good today at all. I'm not gonna lie, Amad wasn't good. Mbuemo wasn't good. You know, Mbuemo kept losing the ball every time the ball gets to him. Even Cunha too, the same thing. Cunha wasn't good, losing the ball every time the ball gets to him. You know, but the first substitution, Sesko coming off the bench, you know, took his chance. Beautiful goal, you know. And I feel like next time the manager should start Sesko. Either Aman and Mbuemo, somebody got to stay on the bench. Sesko start up front, Mbuemo on the left wing. Either Aman and Diallo, one person on the right wing, the other person on the bench. You know, yeah, man, it was a beautiful win. What I'm saying, not a beautiful football, but what I'm saying. Sometimes when you go to teams like Everton, you got to be scrappy, man. You got to fight. Because all those guys in at Everton, they don't play good football. They don't care about none of that. They just want to win the game, So we have to match whatever they own. We have to match it, you know. Yeah. But now, at least we still we with 3 points, we in top four position right now. Four position, 3 point ahead of Chelsea, 3 point ahead of Liverpool, 3 point behind Aston Villa. So we can actually catch Aston Villa. So we just got to keep winning. Next week, going to Crystal Palace. Hopefully, we handle our business because Crystal Palace is not good right now. Everybody already know Glasner, their manager, is leaving at the end of the season. So the fans is mad. Everything is disrupted over there. So right now, we have to go to Crystal Palace and capitalize off of that, off of their situation. You know, another 3 point. Hopefully next weekend. You know, we're gonna keep the pressure on these other people, man. Hopefully we can catch up with Aston Villa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Great day, man. Great day, great win, I'm saying? Shout out to my players, At least, another clean sheet. I can't forget another clean sheet. Shout out to Senna Lemons. Another clean sheet, The manager and his staff, I can't complain, They're doing their thing. They're doing what they're doing their best. This is actually better than, Ruben Amaro. I don't care what anybody say, you know. Carrick is way better than Ruben. And some people are not giving him enough credit.